Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is the first video officially on Millennium Dawn. However, quickly before we get into this video, I want to quickly express an apology for this video being a day late. I didn't film on the Friday, unfortunately, because the motivation for filming at the minute is quite low. So I'm generally filming, I wouldn't say last minute, but it's close to being last minute on the Saturday. However, I've faced some technical issues. This is me speaking on the Saturday. Today, I've faced some technical issues, and let's just say things haven't gone that great. Because my PC was being quite slow, and so I've had to move a few things around and sort some things out. However, we have sorted all that after a long time. Started doing that at 2 o'clock, and it finished itself at 4. So it took quite a while. So I do apologise for that one. I've also now gained a headache, which is fun and probably has contributed to the fact I've been stressed for, well, definitely at least the past 2 hours, probably the past 3 hours, trying to get a video out today and just not being able to do it. And then obviously Artsfan for not wanting to open Millennium Dawn. It's been a fun day, in all honesty. In case anyone's wondering, I'm being sarcastic there. It has not been great at all. But let's put that all behind us, and let's hop into playing a Millennium Dawn game here. I have no idea how long this is going to record for, or whether it will record for the point of the video, whether it's going to crash or anything like that. I haven't tested it properly. We're just going to have to see how it goes. There was a nation I was going to play, but I've forgotten what it was. I mean, we could play Ukraine here. It would be a sort of fun one. Venezuela, UK, UAE. There's many nations or options here. It's just about which one has an empire that we could take. Egypt. That's a fun one. I'd rather not. Just as a starting nation, we should have one that's like a major power. No offense to Egypt. Not saying that they're not a major power. They control the Suez. So they're much a major power in that regard. But, you know, one of the UK's US sort of level of power would probably be a good one to start with. I mean, we could go with the Russians here. Could go with Russia, but not sure. We got Transnistria. Let's go Transnistria. Let's have a little bit of fun. I cannot remember the last time I played Transnistria on Millennium Dawn, so let's have a go. If we don't like it, we can just tag to another nation using the nice console command and play as whatever nation we feel like. But for now, we'll have a go as Transnistria and just have a little bit of fun and see what we get up to. So we'll see what sort of happens. Obviously, I'm going to be careful because there may be a couple of events that I'm not so sure how YouTube, in terms of community guidelines, will be on some issues and some things, so I need to be a bit careful about what I can and can't say in terms of reading things out. But, you know, I think this should be obvious in terms of what looks more towards heading over the line of community guidelines and what's not. So I'll read some things out and I won't read others, and we'll just go from there and see what happens. Within that sense, it does take an awfully long time to load Millennium Dawn here, but we'll see how it goes. Now we just wait until it loads, and then we see what we can do. Hopefully we can go to war with Moldova, because that'd be quite nice to do. Because if we can take Moldova and become, you know, the what is it called? The Supreme Soviet of Moldova? That's not the word. The SSR? The Moldovan SSR, I think is the word I'm looking for. Then potentially we could, you know, look at taking Ukraine. and forming a Ukrainian SSR, and then go from there, and maybe a Belarus, like a Belarusian SSR or whatever. Basically just restoring the Soviet Union might be an option if it is available. I'm not sure if it's available, so we'll have to find out. But we will see here in due course, I would imagine, once the game actually loads, which would be nice if it wants to do that at some point pretty soon. Okay, we're in the game now. We're just waiting for it to do things, like the basic, like set up and zoom into the country and all that. We're there now. There we go. Okay, we're here. So immediately we're going to hop into the focus tree here. And we'll hopefully have access to the focus tree here in a moment. Oh, this is going to be a lot of waiting around. For anyone wondering, this just is not pleasant. It is just a lot of waiting. Like a lot. But we're here. So we've got the return of communism, which we can go down here, the Red Army of Transnistria, return the Moldovan SSR. Well, surely, if we're doing the return of the Moldovan SSR, then why would we get a puppet focus war go against them? Because we would want to be one... I don't even know. Oh, because you can then integrate them? I don't know anymore. But we can go to war with Ukraine and Romania, which is good. But to do that, we have to have the armed forces in power. And then we can go social democracy, which is about, okay, going down there. Then we got our economy focus tree down here. Right, that's good. So that would way to Ukraine. Hold up, we can join Ukraine. I have no idea anymore. So is there a path on forming the Soviet Union? There probably is, but I don't see it. It probably unlocks as a hidden path or something. I don't know, there might be, there might not be, who knows. Anyway, we will start here by going down the army of Transnistria, and we'll start boosting that in the background here, simply on the fact of we're either going to go straight communism or the path of the army. We're doing one of the two. We're definitely not keeping Smirnov in charge here. I don't see that being a play that I'm going to make. We're definitely looking at the Transnistrian Communist Party and definitely looking at the ATF, the Armed Forces of Transnistria. Though, not ATF, the AFT, sorry. Those are the two parties we're looking at. It's just about which one we pick. But for now, we'll focus on the army, rebuild the army, and see where we go from there. So we'll speed the game up here, otherwise we will be here for a literal decade. And I don't feel like being here for a decade. So let's hope the game actually responds. If we are going to go... Thank you. Well, I'll say if we're going to go an hour for every minute in real life terms, we will literally be here for a century. But, you know, Luckily it's speeding up a little bit. So we got 6 divisions here. We'll put them under a commander. We have no command power. Lovely. Why would we need command power? Seems ridiculous. Command power. Nonsense. Pure nonsense. Anyway, we will put a border on here with Moldova in preparation for some type of future offensive into Moldovan territory. We are somehow in an unknowing amount of debt. No idea how we've got here, but that is only going to go up. We need to... oh, great. So we can't... okay, we can't improve our debt or make it less because we don't have political power. Nice. I say we fix that. And I also say we get command power at the same time. Let's just fix both of those issues. There you go. Issues fixed. So it wants us to put no military spending. The only thing we can do is tiny military spending, and we'll do that. Here we will go down to basic civil service administration or whatever. Basic, yeah, administration. So we'll do that, and then that's already good. Go here, lower that, then lower this, and this will just basically help us in terms of debt and maintaining a good financial position. Then we need a new national focus. I think we should have a look. Let's pause the game here because I want to have a look again at the 2 main sort of focuses over here. So this one would go down to sort of reviving that. So, right. So this is very much sort of, I don't know, is it a sort of but I mean it's army takeover, so it'd be a junta, but I don't know, I'm sort of in a mixed mind of communism and junta, because they're both on a similar level territory wise, but you get more here with, like, you get to puppet Romania and you get some sort of Ukrainian land, but here it's more you're an SSR. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do here. I think we'll head down towards, I think, the army, and we'll go down that route. I think's the path we're going to play today, which means we need to continue down the armed forces path here, which we will start doing now. So we're going to go to war with Ukraine, Romania and Moldova. Here is the sort of plan, and there will be, this may struggle a bit, but in this state here in, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that because I'm going to get it wrong pretty quickly, but this state, which feel free to pronounce at home, has this nation that can rise up, and it will rise up to our support, and that means we'll just get Moldova, and then we push into Romania, take Romania, and then we can go against Ukraine and have a little fun per se in that sort of area in a moment. Now you sort of have to wait for the focuses to just sort of complete. Didn't take long apparently. Now I pause the game and wait for the next focus to be able to be selected. This will boost that, so that's good. Okay, we need more manpower than 499. We have absolutely 0. Fun. We'll continue the armed forces just to continue to push them up through the political path. I don't even know anymore. We definitely don't want the Liberal Democratic tick past your Transnistria to be so high, so we'll boost the AFT a bit here in the background. We'll just see how that goes, and hopefully it goes pretty quickly. That'd be nice, but I don't see it going like that, so we'll sort of just have to try, because the next election is in December of 2001. Now obviously we're in March of 2000, so we've got just over a year before the first election, but we can always try to speed it up as much as possible, where possible. What would be quite nice here, obviously Russia has, I believe, finished their war with Chechnya here. Yes, okay, they have. So obviously Russia finishing their war with Chechnya means they can focus more on Europe, in particular Ukraine, which for our sake we sort of need them to, because if we're going to go anywhere near trying to get Romania and Odessa, we are going to require the Russians to basically enter places like the Donetsk and Kharkiv and into Crimea. We just require it, because there's no way we're going to fight all of that on our own here. We'll do foreign policy doctrine here as the next focus up. The US doing US things. Lovely. That's not at all going to turn out bad for us. I have a feeling it will, but we'll see what they feel like doing. I'll go from there. So Russia, obviously, they've got Putin re-elected there. Interesting. But obviously doesn't mean anything to us at the minute if there's no sort of reason to mean it to mean anything. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Wow, we've got a large thing here. I'm thinking of mobilising the Cossacks. You know what, let's do it. We'll mobilise them. Is there anything else we can do here? I don't feel like costing the economy any more money because we're already in debt. We don't need to make it worse. So we have elections. Okay. Right. Okay, our country is caught between two fires, and our military doctrine should reflect the state of our country. Who will we consider as a potential opponent? Right. So, technically, we should consider them both as a potential opponent. However, in terms of, we're going to go to war with Romania to puppet them, but we're going to go to war with Ukraine to take territory. It would make sense to put Ukraine as an enemy, just simply because we will be... Okay. Right, so, okay, yeah, Ukraine just makes more sense. In the sort of large scale of things here. Slowly we build up the armed forces in terms of popularity within government, which is quite nice. They are slowly building. They're at 12% now. Just checking they can't be boosted any further. But, the fact they're at 12% is pretty good. I mean, we need them at 20 for them to, potentially have an opportunity for a coup. And I think I will be launching one, if possible. Because I think we've just got one state. I'm not going to check it. Actually, I can if I zoom in. This might break the game a little bit. I think we've got 2 states, I think. We can check it here without actually ongoing. Yeah, we had 1 state. Okay. So, if we launch coup, they should take power. We might try it. Let's see, is there an opportunity at the minute to do it? No. I think they need to be at 20%. So we've got, what, 8% left? So not a long way off from the idea, but also not close to doing it either. So we just have to wait for the focus to complete and then do a couple more on forces focuses and then just get the opinion of them up a little bit higher until we can have a bit of fun of doing the coup. And hopefully the coup will go the way I think it will go, which would be really nice because it means, you know, we'll be in a better position to do some of the things I want to do, including, you know, taking Romania and all of that fun stuff. But we'll see here. Okay, we don't need to worry about that because it's just not going to help. Right, so we'll not do that because that's, yeah. I think we should only need 6 more. So we're currently 15, 18, yeah. Okay, we should be good after the next 2 focuses. So we've got, I don't know, is it 35 and 35? I think it is. That's a 35 day, and that is also a 35 day. So yeah, 70 days until we should be able to launch a coup. I mean, you know, it's a matter of trying the coup and seeing what happens. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, well, we need to figure out another option then. Which is probably wait until December 2001, which I don't feel like they're in, but if it comes down to it, it comes down to it. We will never know. I mean, we will know when we figure out whether the coup works. And obviously if it doesn't, then we have to wait until the general election and then we bring in the armed forces. And we go from there. But there is a lot of waiting around in Hearts of Iron 4. I mean, technically, if you're a big nation, you could be deploying troops, sorting the Navy out, whatever. Air Force, whatever. Which, speaking of Air Force, we should probably do a bit of management of that. And by that I mean the 5 planes. The literal 5 planes. This is not an Air Force that's going to stand for much. Can we even... Are they just supply planes? Oh dear. Oh dear. The Air Force looks bad. We've got not enough manpower. Okay. Our Air Force is not going to help us today, is what I found out. So we're not even going to try to put the Air Force up because it just will not assist us in any manner. So we'll ignore the Air Force because it is useless. Especially when your nation is Transnistria and you only have 5 planes. You know, it's not really going to help you much against, well, anyone for that matter. But we will have to attempt a different sort of plan, which is just basically send our forces in and hope they can do the best that they can. And just make use of Moldova's little number of troops. But surely we should be up to level now almost. We're at 18.1. We only have 15 days, sorry, left for the Air Force Academy, which boosts us by another 3%, which is good. It's now down to 10 days. Now we have to wait for the Air Force Academy to complete. Once that does complete, then we can potentially launch the coup, which I'm hoping will go through. And if it does go through, then we should be able to start working our way down the Armed Forces main focus branch and, well, start focusing on things like launching the coup, which would be nice to do. Can we launch it now? That is the large question that needs answering. We can. Let's do it. Have we changed political? We have. That is good. Lovely. I might have to change the leader though, because that just looks, yeah, that would haunt people in the nightmares. That portrait. We'll just change the leader, hopefully. That's better. That's better. Also, on this channel, I will never play an extremist nation, because, yeah, that would get my channel taken down. That would, yeah, no. Yeah, hence why I've changed the leader, so he's a little bit more relaxing, even though they're of an outlook that's not always the best. Yeah. Luckily we're only the armed forces, so it's not that bad. Could be worse. But can we deploy any military? That's not even worth trying. It really is not worth trying. We have 0 manpower. I don't know who we're trying to be, but we are not them. I don't know why that's opened, but anyway. Reform of the armed forces is bypassed. Okay. So we can clean up the government here. Nice. Get that going in the background while we literally stare and watch the troops doing nothing. Yep, that seems about normal. But if we could do anything, we probably would at this point. How long is this going to be? Is this okay, it's a 35-day focus, that's good. I was about to say, if it's a 70-day focus, that would just not be good at all. Right, the leader has changed once again. It's like we're going to have a new leader practically every month at this point, which doesn't say anything to do with stability, but we'll be fine. Okay, so we've got the general. Okay, so that's that. Build that up and then starts knocking down that. How long until we can... Oh, that's a long way. That is a long way down in the focus tree. Long way down. Well, we'll do as much as we can in this video, and then we might have to do a second or potentially even a third part of this series to get down to the point where we can finally sort of start taking some territory. So we'll do the anti-corruption war here, so we can get rid of corruption, because it will be quite useful to do so. So we'll get that done, while we once again do what seems to be quite a popular thing in Transnistria, which is doing nothing. I don't mean that negatively towards Transnistria in real life. I'm just making the joke about the fact that we can't do anything in Transnistria in the game, because I'd much rather have Moldova fully under our control by now and be able to get on with everything. But now we're still waiting. I mean, I'd be fine to start deploying troops. That would, be enough. Or deploy an air force or a navy or whatever. But nothing at all is a bit... It's just a bit of boredom, really. Much rather be doing something. But we'll hopefully get there in the end. I have no idea what that means or what it is, but I do not care. Because all I care about is starting to head down here, which means I gotta do that, and then another focus after that. This is going to take a while. Like a really long time. But we'll get there in the end. So we always do. And then we sort of gotta go from there, I guess. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway. More waiting. Yes. There's a lot of waiting. I am not good at waiting. I do not have the attention span for it. But nevertheless, I don't have a choice. Which is fun. It's not, but we have not really got a choice about whether it's fun or not. We just have to do it. But yeah, we'll get through this focus almost complete now, which is the revive factories focus, and then we got another one so that we can start getting closer and closer towards the retaking of Moldova, which will be really nice to do. Right, so that's done there. Now we'll do this one, which is only it's a 35-day focus. Okay, so I'd have to wait 35 days for that. Yeah, we'll take it. I mean, if we don't have to pay for gas from Gazprom, then we may as well take it, because I don't think our economy is good enough to pay for it. The reason I say that is because we're currently 10 billion in debt, and we are not going to pay that off anytime soon. But anyway, what's our taxes looking like? I'm hoping we've got decent sort of amount of taxes. That is quite low, so we'll up that to 35, and then we'll up this as well. That should hopefully help a little bit. Does help a little bit, but still a long way off where we want to be. But we'll just build up sort of some cash effectively, and then once we get over our debt amount and we earn more than the debt amount, we will pay the debt off with enough that if a bit of debt was to come back on, we can easily pay it off again. But yep, anyway, that's the next focus completed. So we'll do that. That is another 35-day focus. I'm quite happy they're all 35-day focuses, because a 70-day focus in this situation where we have no manpower and nothing to do, yeah, no. Or we can earn more money. That's more money earned for us. But yeah, I mean, besides just earning money or selling things to Russia, there is not much else to do. But we'll see how things go here. Oh, there's been an uprising in Syria. I'm sure that'll go down well. But we obviously are not going to worry about that because we have our own issues. So that's fun. And our own issues are a bit of waiting. Literally waiting times for doing things. I would much rather be in Transnistria. Well, I am in Transnistria. I'd much rather be in Moldova, fully occupying it right now, than I would be just in a little sliver of land that has been called Transnistria and not really doing much else. But we have to wait our time, apparently. There you go. Now we can start to slowly push down towards taking Moldova. And I use the word slowly because it's going to be slow. It is going to be slow. But we are in March of 2001 here, so I'm reckoning by about around July 2002, we might have Moldova under our control. Obviously, I don't mean that literally. It is likely that by June or July of 2001, we will probably have Moldova under our control, I think. It's about a month or so, because I'm not about to do any sort of maths level to count that, because it can't be bothered. But something around a couple of months and we'll have Moldova. Something like that makes sense. But we'll see what in particular that is in the next episode, obviously, because this episode is currently 35 minutes long and I want to stop it, so that it's not 45 minutes long and no one wants to watch it, because it's just too long. So if you did like this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications when you do subscribe, so you never miss another upload from me. And in the next episode, we will continue on from this point. I will not do any gaming off camera. It'll simply, next video will start from this point and continue from there. So I will see you in the next episode for the continuation of this game as Moldova. So I'll catch you all there. Bye for now. Bye.